In the 20-plus years since their time in Genovia, the cast of The Princess Diaries have racked up resumes full of industry accolades and pretty much every cinematic genre imaginable. Following her on-screen debut on the short-lived Fox show Get Real, Anne Hathaway got her big break as Mia Thermopolis in The Princess Diaries in 2001. Then, in 2004, she had a pair of princess parts in The Princess Diaries 2 and Ella Enchanted, though she soon branched out to non-royal roles as well. From comedies like The Devil Wears Prada and Bride Wars to collaborating with Christopher Nolan on The Dark Knight Rises and Interstellar, Hathaway has reliably demonstrated her range over the years. She even won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for 2012's Les Miserables, which allowed her to show off both her acting and singing skills. Off-screen, Hathaway is passionate about activism, particularly as an advocate for equal opportunities for women and girls, especially the right to an education. In 2016, she was appointed a United Nations Women Goodwill Ambassador. Julie Andrews already had a glittering, decades-long career before she played the Queen of Genovia. The legendary star of stage and screen became a household name in 1964 when she played the titular magical nanny in Disney's Mary Poppins, for which she won an Oscar for Best Lead Actress. Following The Princess Diaries and its sequel, Andrews has mostly focused on voice acting, bringing her instantly recognizable voice to franchises like Shrek and Despicable Me. More recently, she voiced the mysterious Lady Whistledown on the Netflix series Bridgerton and its spin-off, Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story. Away from the screen, Andrews is a prolific author, as she released 2 memoirs and she's co-written several children's books with her daughter, Emma Walton Hamilton. Head of Security Joe is a steadfast and calming presence in The Princess Diaries, and the guy who played him, Héctor Elizondo, is a similarly reliable presence in director Gary Marshall's movies. From 1982's Young Doctors in Love to 2016's Mother's Day, Elizondo has shown up in 18 of Marshall's films. In a 2016 interview with Variety about their working relationship, Elizondo said, "Gary kept reminding people how lucky we are to be working. He liked hiring the same people because you don't have to explain stuff." Elizondo has also carved out a successful voice acting career in movies like the Lego Batman movie and TV shows like Elena of Avalor. And from 2011 to 2021, he had a recurring role on the sitcom Last Man Standing. Elizondo is proud of his Latino heritage, but he's careful about the roles he chooses and refuses to play into stereotypes. As he told The Washington Post in 1999, "By putting me in that box, by categorizing me, you're taking away my options and my opportunity."
If I may say so, that did not go very well.
In The Princess Diaries, Mandy Moore plays the cheerleader Lana Thomas, who mercilessly picks on Mia and her friends. She and her cohorts rule the school, and to make matters even worse, she's dating Mia's crush, Josh. When The Princess Diaries came out, Moore was more well-known for her music. But in the years since, her acting career has really taken off, with leading roles in films like A Walk to Remember, Chasing Liberty, and Saved. In 2010, Moore voiced the Disney princess Rapunzel in Tangled. And in 2016, she landed perhaps the most iconic role of her career, Rebecca Pearson on the NBC drama This Is Us. Since then, she's also starred in the shark thriller 47 Meters Down and the war drama Midway. At first glance, Mia's parents have a lot to answer for in terms of why they kept the secret of her royal heritage away from her for so long. But the film eventually reveals that her mother, Helen, did it so that her daughter could have a normal childhood, or at least as normal as living in a converted firehouse could be. She also single-handedly raised Mia, while her ex-husband was heir to a fictional European country. Helen is a free-spirited artist who ultimately proves to be very supportive of her daughter's journey to becoming a princess. Before playing Helen, Caroline Goodall notably appeared in 2 Steven Spielberg movies, 1991's Hook and 1993's Schindler's List. Since The Princess Diaries came out in 2001, her credits include the feel-good feline flick A Street Cat Named Bob and the Star's historical miniseries The White Queen and the White Princess. Even though there's a compelling argument that Lily Moscovitz is the true villain of The Princess Diaries, She's generally one of the most consistent people in Mia's life. Lily is quirky and eccentric, as she proudly marches to the beat of her own drum. And that's all thanks to the winning performance of Heather Matarazzo.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Matarazzo began her on-screen career at the age of 11 on a couple of episodes of The Adventures of Pete and Pete. Then her big screen break came in 1995 with Welcome to the Dollhouse. She also played Martha Meeks in Scream 3, a part that she reprised in the 5th film in that series. Since The Princess Diaries, Matarazzo has mostly acted in low-budget indies, and she's been very open about her struggles in Hollywood. As she told The Guardian in 2017, "Most people think that I probably get paid a lot of money, but I really don't, and most working actors don't. Sometimes a character needs just a handful of scenes to make an unforgettable impact, and that's certainly the case with flamboyant hairdresser Paolo, who was played by character actor Larry Miller. He was memorable enough in the first film to reprise his role in the sequel, despite having already worked his magic with Mia's makeover and subsequently disgraced himself when he sold her out to the press. However, Paolo's intentions are sort of honorable, as he just wants the world to see and appreciate his incredible work on Mia's locks. Outside of Genovia, Miller is perhaps best known as Kat and Bianca's dad in 10 Things I Hate About You. He's also been a regular in the mockumentary films directed by Christopher Guest, like Best in Show. And he was a regular on Gary Marshall's roster, as he showed up in the likes of Raising Helen and Valentine's Day. In addition to all that, Miller has enjoyed a successful stand-up comedy career and appeared on TV shows like Curb Your Enthusiasm. There's one memorable moment in The Princess Diaries that tells us pretty much everything we need to know about the character of Michael Moskowitz.
He fixes cars, he plays guitar, and he can sing. He is so hot. He is wicked sweet.
Michael is the older brother of Mia's best friend Lily, who admires Mia from afar until eventually she realizes that the boy who can make her foot pop has been there all along. Michael might not come from a royal background, but the same can't be said for the guy who played him, Robert Schwartzman, who's a member of American cinema royalty. His mom is Talia Shire, which means Francis Ford Coppola is one of his uncles. His cousins include Sofia Coppola and Nicolas Cage, and his older brother is Jason Schwartzman. Compared to some of his castmates, Robert Schwartzman hasn't been quite as prolific on screen since The Princess Diaries. However, he still enjoyed a successful career as the lead singer of the alt-rock band Rooney. And he's also directed several films, including 2016's Dreamland, which starred his brother Jason. The flame-haired Jeremiah Hart is a friend of Mia and Lily's, and another one of the outcasts at Grove High School. He also appears alongside Lily on her cable talk show, Shut Up and Listen, where he shows off his impressive abilities as a magician. The actor who played him, Patrick John Flueger, didn't return for The Princess Diaries 2, but he's managed a steady career since the release of the first movie. After some minor TV guest roles, he landed a major part on the sci-fi series The 4400. And then he showed up in the 2011 remake of Footloose. He now has a regular role on Chicago PD as Adam Ruzick, a character who's also shown up on Chicago Med and Chicago Fire. Tasked with simmering down a debate class near the beginning of The Princess Diaries is Grove High's English teacher, Mr. O'Connell. Following Mia's stage fright in his class, during which she almost vomits into a tuba, a surprising turn of events later sees Mr. O'Connell dating Mia's mom, Helen. After playing Mr. O'Connell in The Princess Diaries and its sequel, Sean O'Brien has appeared in a variety of other films, including Yes Man, Searching, and Olympus Has Fallen. In addition to the 2 Princess Diaries movies, he's worked with director Gary Marshall twice more since then, in New Year's Eve in 2011 and Mother's Day in 2016. Every early aughts teen movie needs a hottie for the protagonist to chase after, and in The Princess Diaries, that hottie comes in the form of Erik von Detten as Josh Bryant. While Mia spends her days fantasizing about making out with Josh, he barely gives her a second look until her radical transformation.
Josh Bryant.
That Backstreet Boy clone you've had a crush on forever.
Okay, he is not a Backstreet Boy clone. He's a sailor.
Von Detten got his big break in the early 90s on the soap opera Days of Our Lives. And then he spent the majority of his teen years working with Disney, as he appeared in the made-for-TV skating movie Brink, and the Supernatural TV show So Weird. Outside of those credits, he's perhaps best known as the voice of the villainous Sid in Toy Story and Toy Story 3. The latter proved to be his last role, as Von Detten has since retired from acting. He now works in finance and is married to Los Angeles realtor Angela Von Detten. But he hasn't completely ruled out a return to acting, as he told E! News in 2021, "If there's a script with a role that doesn't require an arduous audition process, I'm definitely open." Even though The Princess Diaries is a teen movie, the adult characters are just as memorable. And one of the best has to be sassy Vice Principal Gupta. In just over 2 minutes of screen time, Sandra Oh completely steals the show.
Gupta. The Queen is coming.
Oh is now a huge star in her own right, especially thanks to all those years she played Dr. Christina Yang on Grey's Anatomy, and her starring role as the title character on the thriller series Killing Eve. She's also had memorable vocal turns in animated flicks like Turning Red. If there's ever a third Princess Diaries movie, Oh would jump at the chance to come back. As she told Entertainment Weekly in 2023, "I am ready for the Queen. Call me. I'm dying to see how Gupta has moved up in the world." Not only did director Gary Marshall love working with the same actors over and over during the course of his career, he also loved working with his family. For example, his daughter Kathleen Marshall pops up in The Princess Diaries as Charlotte Cutaway, the headset-wearing right-hand woman to Queen Clarice. Since Young Doctors in Love in 1982, Kathleen has appeared in almost all of her dad's movies. Following Gary's death in 2016, Kathleen has helped preserve her father's legacy. Since 2017, she served on the board at the Gary Marshall Theater, formerly the Falcon Theater, which was founded by her father. That same year, she and her brother Scott accepted the Disney Legend Award on their father's behalf. And in 2018, she stood in for him at the opening of Pretty Woman, the musical in Chicago. Although she's now heavily involved in this behind-the-scenes work, Kathleen has expressed her willingness to return to the franchise should there ever be another Princess Diaries. As she enthused during an interview on the Hey Now, Hey Now podcast in 2020, "I'm ready to show up as Charlotte."